Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Equipment designed to serve a specific function. An act that incriminates someone on a false charge. The way something is organized or arranged. It takes time to learn the setup around here. Equipment designed to serve a specific function. Anatomy. A group of body parts that work together to perform a given function. The breathing apparatus. An act that incriminates someone on a false charge. An instrumentality needed for an undertaking or to perform a service. The act of rendering something false is by fraudulent changes of documents or measures, etc., or counterfeiting. A willful perversion of facts. The act of determining that something is false. Any evidence that helps to establish the falsity of something. The act of rendering something false is by fraudulent changes of documents or measures, etc., or counterfeiting. A false statement. Make out of components, often in an improvising manner. She fashioned a tent out of a sheet and a few sticks. How something is done or how it happens. In an abrasive fashion. Characteristic or habitual practice. Consumer goods, especially clothing, in the current mode. The latest and most admired style in clothes and cosmetics and behavior. Any of various fixed orders of the various diatonic notes within an octave. The most frequent value of a random variable. A classification of propositions on the basis of whether they claim necessity or possibility or impossibility. Verb inflections that express how the action or state is conceived by the speaker. How something is done or how it happens. Their nomadic mode of existence. A particular functioning condition or arrangement. Switched from keyboard to voice mode. Designate by an identifying term. They styled their nation, the Confederate States. The popular taste at a given time. The 1920s had a style of their own. Distinctive and stylish elegance. A pointed tool for writing or drawing or engraving. How something is done or how it happens. In the characteristic New York style. A way of expressing something, in language or art or music, etc., that is characteristic of a particular person or group of people or period. All the reporters were expected to adopt the style of the newspaper. A particular kind, as to appearance. This style of shoe is in demand. A slender bristle-like or tubular process. A cartilaginous style. Botany, the narrow elongated part of the pistil between the ovary and the stigma. Editorial directions to be followed in spelling and punctuation and capitalization and typographical display. Make consistent with a certain fashion or style. Style the dress. Make consistent with certain rules of style. Style a manuscript. Space for movement. Make way for. A course of conduct. We went our separate ways. Thing or person that acts to produce a particular effect or achieve an end. The true way to success. A line leading to a place or point. Didn't know the way home. To a great degree or by a great distance. Very much, right. Smart, is regional in the United States. Way over budget. How something is done or how it happens. A lonely way of life. A general category of things, used in the expression, in the way of. They didn't have much in the way of clothing. A journey or passage. They are on the way. Any artifact consisting of a road or path affording passage from one place to another. He said he was looking for the way out. A portion of something divided into shares. They split the loot 3 ways. Doing as one pleases or chooses. If I had my way. The condition of things generally. That's the way it is. The property of distance in general. It's a long way to Moscow. A way of acting or behaving. How something is done or how it happens. Her dignified manner. A kind. What manner of man are you? An apparatus used to liquefy air or oxygen, etc. An apparatus that uses centrifugal force to separate particles from a suspension. Rotate at very high speed in order to separate the liquids from the solids. An apparatus for holding substances that are undergoing a chemical reaction. Lens used to concentrate light on an object. An electrical device characterized by its capacity to store an electric charge. A hollow coil that condenses by abstracting heat. An apparatus that converts vapor into liquid. Apparatus that makes copies of typed, written or drawn material. Apparatus that makes copies of typed, written or drawn material. An apparatus for the electrical transmission of pictures. Electrical device used for etching by electrolytic means. An apparatus that uses centrifugal force to separate particles from a suspension. A mechanism in a firearm that pulls an empty shell case out of the chamber and passes it to the ejector. An instrument for extracting tight-fitting components. An apparatus that provides a source of X-rays. Apparatus consisting of a box designed to maintain a constant temperature by the use of a thermostat, used for chicks or premature infants. An apparatus for burning fuel, or refuse. A diesel engine as an oil burner. The heating elements of a stove or range on which pots and pans are placed for cooking. The electric range had 1 large burner and 3 smaller ones. To a greater degree or extent, used with comparisons. An even, or still, more interesting problem. Of a body of water, free from disturbance by heavy waves. Scarcely a ripple on the still water. Marked by absence of sound. The night was still. Despite anything to the contrary, usually preceding a concession. Granted that it is dangerous, all the same I still want to go. Make calm or still. Lessen the intensity of or calm. Still the fears. A plant and works where alcoholic drinks are made by distillation. Cause to be quiet or not talk. Not sparkling. A still wine. Not in physical motion. Poetic, tranquil silence. The still of the night. Without moving or making a sound. He sat still as a statue. An apparatus used for the distillation of liquids, consists of a vessel in which a substance is vaporized by heat and a condenser where the vapor is condensed. A static photograph, especially one taken from a movie and used for advertising purposes. He wanted some stills for a magazine ad. Free from noticeable current. A still pond. Make motionless. With reference to action or condition, without change, interruption, or cessation. It's still warm outside. Used of pictures. Of a single or static photograph not presented so as to create the illusion of motion, or representing objects not capable of motion. A still photograph. A warship designed to operate underwater. Capable of being immersed in water or functioning while submerged. A submersible pump. An apparatus intended for use underwater. Send cables, wires, or telegrams. Apparatus used to communicate at a distance over a wire, usually in Morse code. Apparatus used to communicate at a distance over a wire, usually in Morse code. Communicating at a distance by electric transmission over wire. An apparatus for performing a titration. An apparatus for exposing something to the air, as sewage. Someone who originates or causes or initiates something. He was the generator of several complaints. An apparatus that produces a vapor or gas. An electronic device for producing a signal voltage. Engine that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy by electromagnetic induction. Apparatus that extracts heat from a liquid that is at a higher temperature than its surroundings. Can be used to transfer heat from a reservoir outside in order to heat a building. An apparatus for sending telegraphic messages by using a mirror to turn the sun's rays off and on. Signal by means of a mirror and the using the sun's rays.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.